Oh,
you're the Harley Quinn of what Batman? Who's the Batman that you're? Who?
That's the confusing thing because they're rebooting the universe anymore.
Oh, you're Killer Croc. Okay, for what Batman?
For which character? Like,
oh, another Batman villain. Okay, who's Batman? You know what I'm? Oh, another Batman villain.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, Matthew? We just came back from the movie theater. Literally.
It's crazy because at the end of the last episode, we said that we were going to go see the Mario movie, and then we saw the Mario movie, and guess what? It's next week for the viewer, the listeners. And
it's actually the same day.
Crazy concept. Welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Misfits podcast.
It's us.
It's us. It's a Connor and the Matt.
Yeah, from the Nerdy Misfits.
It's like a Mario and Luigi, but the Matt and the Connor.
The Super Italian.
Woohoo!
Yahoo!
Anyways, so we just got back from the movie.
Nice, short, like only an hour and a half.
Solid, like it's just a good time. Like if it was any longer, I feel like it would have dragged
on for sure. I feel like more movies need to be in this realm of that hour and a half. It's easy,
which is funny because
quick.
You have that, and then people complain about it because you look at the Ant-Man movie, and that was a good time.
Yeah,
it wasn't too long, wasn't too short, but people are like, it wasn't long enough. Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, it told the story. It's a start, a middle, and an end, and it concluded it. Done deal. Like,
it's easy.
But yeah. What are your thoughts on the nice new Super Mario movie?
I thought it was pretty enjoyable. That's what I say. I don't think it's like a it's a masterpiece, but it was enjoyable. Made me laugh. The music was really good. Sound effects were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of Easter eggs. They jam-packed it full of references to all kinds of games.
Yep.
And they covered more than I thought they would with Donkey Kong and like that whole world. So, and they also left enough open that theoretically there could be more.
Crazy.
The whole Bowser trying to marry Peach, that was different. And Jack Black singing. I'm always down for Jack Black singing.
Jack Black singing is just always a good time, I find. No, I'm glad you liked the movie. I think personally it was a solid movie as well. They the way the story was told, I didn't know that's how they were going to do it.
Me neither, yeah.
So we're trying to do our best to be a spoiler-free review here.
We didn't kind of like do any much research into it. We've seen.
No,
I saw the trailer.
The trailer, that was it. Yeah. I think the voice, like I don't know, as much as hate Chris Pratt was getting going into it,
I thought you did pretty well.
He did, yeah. I think because of the way the story was written, it made sense.
It all worked. They even made fun of like the commercial at the very beginning. No, this isn't really a spoiler because it happens right at the beginning.
Yeah.
But they reference why there's no Italian accent.
Exactly.
Because they're from Brooklyn and
it makes sense.
They overdo the accent in a commercial they make.
Exactly. For the marketing of the film too, it's very interesting because most of the things that are in the trailer happens within the first like 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, they're not spoiling anything. They're not trying to tell you everything that happens in the movie.
Which is crazy because 80% of the time, movie trailers are like the entire story.
But it seems like, yeah, I agree with the audience score. It has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep, makes sense.
But from the critics, it has a 56. I feel like that's just some disconnect between what people desire in a movie and what critics think is good.
Which is kind of annoying because watching the movie, it hits, like, there's various age groups it hits.
I feel like if you like Nintendo or Mario, you're going to enjoy it.
And if you're a kid, you're just going to like it. It's just all nice and colorful, and it's some fun voices and just...
Animation was solid.
Animation was solid, especially coming from Illuminations, who's only really good for Minions. Which I thought Minions. The Minion, the opening for the Illumination thing was cute, too, with the Minion.
Minion on a go-kart?
Yeah. I'm always excited, oddly, for that, because obviously that's the face of their animation department now is the Minions. And it's
Minions are great, though. Yeah.
So can't go wrong with that. Any cons from the movie?
It's not really a con because there isn't really a story to really tell with Mario, right? You don't want to do the damsel in distress, right?
Yeah.
That's overdone, cliche, don't need to do it.
For sure.
I liked how they kind of made Peach this super strong woman.
Yeah.
She's the only woman in apparently the Mushroom Kingdom. It's just her. But, she's a strong individual. I thought it was good for her character.
Yeah.
She was a strong character, and she was the one who kind of helped Mario kind of
go through
get to where he needed to be. So I liked that.
Peach actually had character development.
Yeah, Peach had character development. Luigi was very Luigi, scared of everything.
Yeah.
Was classic.
Mentioned to his haunted mansion, like there was Easter
Yeah,
eggs.
and there was
towards
Easter eggs
that.
towards a lot of different villains in the game series. There was references to a bunch of different games,
Yep.
like original Mario. I loved the one scene when they're in Brooklyn and Mario and Luigi,
Yeah.
they did the scrolling game style
Yep.
where they're just on their way to their job. I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was really clever.
There's also one of the opening scenes is I think it is one of the opening scenes when they're watching the commercial and there's a dude standing beside them. If you look, the dude's playing an arcade game and it is actually just a graphic of the original Mario game.
There was also when they first reached the Toad Kingdom, there's a the Mushroom Kingdom, there's a someone with an N64 game and they're like, "Oh, just blow on it, it'll work."
That's good.
So there was lots of references. There's obviously a bunch of Super Nintendos.
Oh,
People are
yeah.
playing all over different game consoles from Nintendo. So it was really kind of cool.
I'll say a solid movie, and
Part of me kind of wants to see it again just to pick out more Easter eggs.
that's what I mean. Yeah, like they've definitely not niched, but they definitely did really well with hiding like casual Easter eggs. But even if you've only played the one or two of the games,
You
you
would still get
pick
some.
up on them.
Yeah.
Right. Like even like the simplistic one is Rainbow Road. Like you just know it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, some things were just absolute classics. Obviously, having Donkey Kong throw barrels and is
Exactly.
an homage to the original
Exactly.
like arcade game.
Yeah. One of my favorite things for some reason in this movie, though, and it just made me so funny because you see it in the trailers that they obviously have their carts, but the way they make their carts.
Yeah, the way they make their carts is exactly the same as how you pick your carts in Mario's Kart 7 and 8.
Yeah, which I just found that was just funny to me.
It's like the scroll.
Yeah, scroll, pick your wheels, your base, and this is great.
Yeah, definitely. That was a great reference as well.
Yeah, and then there is a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. The mid-credit scene is great. Post-credit scene is just a handoff to the potential future of the Mario movies.
Yeah, which is cool because we didn't get to see that character that
Yeah.
we saw
It, but
we
not
didn't,
it.
It wasn't involved in the show.
Yeah, exactly.
In the movie, I mean. Which leads into Matt's big question for this podcast.
Is from a movie standpoint, I feel like every movie these days, any big blockbuster-esque movie, has to be part of a franchise. There has to be always an open-ended question that, will there be more? Will this be connected to something else? So on and so forth.
For the most part, there's no just one-offs.
There's not really one-off movies anymore.
'Cause you
Even
look
if you
at it,
think
The
it's going to be a
Joker.
one. The Joker. It was a one-off movie at the time.
And now there's a second
Now
one.
all of a sudden we need to get a second one.
I think another one is the Keanu Reeves movies.
John
Wick.
Wick. Probably supposed to be a one-off movie, and now 4 just came out, and now we're getting a 5th one, and we're getting a spin-off prequel sequel TV show.
Because people just buy it.
And like that's why like it just bugs me because there's so many companies that are just trying to force everything into a franchise or like sequels and stuff, and there's just not really one-off movies. Like I watched the new D&D movie, and I'm like, okay, it was good, okay, whatever, and I'm like, this is probably just gonna be put into another franchise, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like I kind of just want to go into a movie.
Why are the D&D
watch it.
films? Why did they try to grasp? I'm just going to relate it to Critical Role. I'm going to say, why do they try and grab that your own home game-esque kind of idea? I know that's kind of what they were trying to portray, right? Oh, this is your party. You're doing whatever you want. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like it's people were scared that the D&D movie is going to be very like not easy kai, but like meta in the sense that it was going to open with people playing D&D and then it transferred, but
Well,
it didn't. It was just
I knew it wasn't going to be people playing, but I just mean think of it as if you watched and listened to Critical Role,
Yeah.
and then they just made a movie.
That's pretty much what it is.
their-
It's an adventure of 5 or 4
Right.
random things just in the universe. And I'm like, okay.
Why not do something more lore based and interesting, like
That's what I mean. Like a
Drizzt
Drizzt movie would be phenomenal.
and following his story?
Yeah, and there's 36 frickin' books in the 30th anniversary.
That's something that would make more sense
I
for me
agree.
personally.
I think it would be great. But no, I just feel like everything is becoming a franchise.
Everyone's trying to copy that
Marvel charm.
the magic formula, which
Yeah.
they didn't really have. At the end of the day, all Marvel did was they were the first ones to, other than obviously their series that just are book series, Lord of the
Yeah,
Rings,
that's the thing.
Harry
Excluding
Potter.
book series, like
It's
they're
one
the
of the
first
ones
ones that
where
built a universe inside the movies.
Kevin Feige was just like, what if
We did this.
we have
Nick
stories
Fury.
of separate heroes, but they all intertwine
Mhm.
in the same world?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, like obviously, Kevin Feige wasn't the first one to do that. Like, if you look back in the history of movies, you have your Universal monsters. They crossed
Of
over.
course.
Like
It's just
Frankenstein,
that he's the
werewolf.
first that made it work.
Yeah, in modern time.
Right? He took something that I feel like most people were waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
We only ever got single Spider-Man films. Not that was technically by Marvel, but
No, but I know what you mean, yeah.
just big heroes.
Honestly, if you compare it to superheroes, the closest thing to it would be the Daredevil and the Elektra movie.
Yeah,
That would be like the closest
that's
thing
pretty
to
close.
it. Because she died and then she got her own movie and like
90s Spider-Man and X-Men.
yeah. But that's animated, so animated's a little bit different. But I know what you mean.
But just like that's like closest thing
Yeah.
in terms of there was actually a crossover and like we're in the same universe.
Yeah. But otherwise, it wasn't really common. Now I feel like it's so overdone.
Well,
Like,
they just money.
that's what it is, and it bugs me.
Marvel makes so much money.
So everyone thinks they can do it.
They're just like, wow, if we have connection, people are going to be more invested in our
Exactly.
product, and then we're going to make more money because everyone who's invested is going to want to see it. And we saw DC fail at this because
Multiple
they tried to rush it. At the end of the day, Marvel took forever to get to that
That's
end
what I
game.
mean. Like,
Literally, no pun intended there, but literally end game.
but I don't think we've really talked about this on the podcast. But literally, for their new DC universe that they booted with the Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice,
Yep.
right? Sorry, Man of Steel was technically the first.
Man of
movie
Steel
in
is
this.
technically the first, which was a
Solid
okay
movie.
movie. It was decent. I mean, it was a little violent in terms of
but,
Spider
you know,
and Superman,
They were
but
trying to do a darker tone, whatever.
but
But then you go to like Batman vs Superman, and the thing about that movie,
they introduced everyone.
you introduced like I think it's like something stupid, like almost 12 pivotal DC characters all in one movie.
Because they're trying to rush them all together
Yeah.
to be like, unlike Marvel, where we just like, here's
Sprinkle
one
a character here and here.
Here's this
No,
character.
Batman vs Superman was like, okay, we've seen Superman. Now, by the way, here's Lex Luthor, here's Doomsday, here's the return of Zod, here's Batman, here's Alfred, here's the potential fact that there used to be a Robin at some point. By the way, here's Aquaman, here's Flash, here's Wonder Woman.
Cyborg?
Cyborg's going to be also in it as well. And by the way, here's this villain and this villain to tie everything together in this. But then we're also just going to kill Superman off at the same time. And then Doomsday is just going to be here, but then Doomsday is going to die, even though he looks like garbage. But by the like, it's just why?
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that your sequel got such hatred that you had to make a director's cut and add like 2 hours of footage for the story to be good. I shouldn't have to say more.
and we only got the Wonder Woman after that, really.
No, Aquaman got like a movie and stuff too.
Well, I just
but,
mean in
like,
terms of when the Flash has gotten constantly pushed back.
yeah, Aquaman 2, but I think that's also issues because of certain actors and actresses that are in that film. So like Aquaman 2's gotten pushed back. But yeah, Wonder Woman
It's
is
just
the only one
hilarious
that got a sequel.
Because they didn't really come out with many movies.
No,
but they
I
rushed it so hard.
I literally think it's what? Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Justice League, the 2 Wonder Woman movies, Aquaman.
That's it. Unless if you want to count Shazam and Black Adam,
Oh yeah. I don't even want they're not even like
they're
there's
not
an
connected
Easter
at
eggs,
all.
but they just exist in that universe, which arguably makes Shazam a decent movie.
Yeah,
Because
Black
it's-
Adam too.
Exactly, because as bad as Black Adam was, it's not it's connected, but it's not forcibly connected. Like it's same universe, and you're like, cool, awesome.
Yeah, it can exist in its own as its own movie,
Exactly.
even apart from Shazam, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's the questionable part. But like you look at like some of the Marvel movies, even going into like phase 2 or 3, like Doctor Strange, good standalone movie.
yeah, agree.
You know it takes place in the same universe, some Easter eggs, but it's not forced into it.
Yeah. I mean, we are now at a part where Marvel is starting over, and people are, it seems, either burnt out of Marvel.
You either love it or you hate it.
Are expecting it to
Be all constantly tied together.
stay at that peak that it's been at, but
Yeah.
it's just not possible.
It's not. You have to do
You
a
have
soft
to
reboot.
You have to build back
and
up
go back
to
up.
something.
Exactly.
So we'll see. Obviously, this year is a bit of a down year in terms of a lot of
They also want to slow down because they pumped out a lot of content.
a lot
in the
of
last
movies
2
were
years.
building up. A lot of shows been
Yeah.
coming out. So a lot of building of the universe, kind of getting to know which characters are the important characters for us to follow
Exactly.
now.
Because I think for this year we have 2 more movies coming out, which is Guardians of the Galaxy and
Yep.
the Marvels.
Yeah.
And then we have Secret Invasion for the show. And then we're having one other show later this year, but I don't know which one.
Which is still a lot of content.
Yeah, that's still 3 movies and 2 shows. But if you look in the last 2 years, we had like 7 or 8 movies plus like half a dozen shows, and it was just constant, right? So I think they've realized that
COVID also messed up with some of the...
with all that stuff too. So,
but we'll see how the first part of the new Avengers ends up looking.
I'm excited still.
I'm excited to see how the group gets together.
Yeah.
Does a Nick Fury show up?
Is it Nick Fury?
Is there a Nick Fury?
Stay tuned to watch Secret Invasion to find out.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's still things that I'm interested in because...
Yeah, like the storytelling is still good.
Yeah, the stories are still there. The big interesting thing for me is just because Tony Stark is gone, theoretically, the Avengers should still be... Like, the building and everything should still be present. Technically.
No. What building are they even in anymore? Because if you look at Homecoming, they take the building away, and then it's like 5 years in the future, and they're all staying at the... Wait a second.
But I'm just saying in terms of, like, the team is there.
Mm-hmm. I'm still fingers crossed.
And they showed up that they were setting up training newcomers for the Avengers in terms of showing that there isn't a reliance on the main members being the Avengers.
No, they're doing the whole next generation thing. You and I have talked about this theory before, but I'm still fingers crossed that like the Reed Richards buys the building and that becomes the Baxter building.
That would be interesting.
And that's like a good, just soft way to introduce
the
them.
base that they were at was the one that Thanos ended up destroying, remember?
I think, yeah.
That was like the flat base that he just nukes.
Boom. No, I think, I don't know, like obviously Marvel is arguably the most, not arguably, it is hands down the most successful franchise.
But they took time to do it over.
Exactly.
How long was it?
2008 was the first Iron
Man film, and then
didn't get 2021, 2022, like that's
over a decade.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
they did their time and they pushed it.
They
and
worked
it worked
hard, and they kept building how many more movies were coming out. Originally, it was only maybe 1 or 2 movies.
Iron Man and Incredible Hulk came out in 2008. Then Iron Man 2 came out in 2009, and then I think
and they slowly started building
built.
momentum.
You should not just shove everything in.
The money came in, and then they were like, "Oh wow, we're doing." I remember when we were obviously not doing a podcast, but we were like, "Whoa, wow, they're doing like 3 movies now per year," and we're like, "What?
That's a lot."
Like,
and now we're just used to it.
Yeah,
but
now it's just common. Plus shows.
Yeah, and it's just so much content, which is great. But then you look at other franchises, and it's weird because there's like franchises that are successful, aka Marvel, franchises that are like still going, but no one knows why. Like
Fast and the Furious.
Fast and the Furious is final one comes out supposedly.
Yeah,
this year,
well, it's always the last ride.
Yeah, but been saying that since number 2.
It's not the last.
But then
ride.
that got a spinoff too, the Hobbs and Shaw one, right? And I'll give it 2 years before HBO or Paramount picks up a freaking Fast. There's an animated show about Dom Toretto's cousin.
Oh boy,
it's a Netflix original. It's got like 3 seasons.
But yeah, that's just an action franchise, really.
Yeah. Even with Transformers, like there's
the thing is, we're waiting for DC to show up.
That's literally what everyone's doing.
To challenge the MCU, because in terms of characters and an already set lore of characters and world, DC is someone who can challenge. They have all of these characters. They have the Justice League, which in my opinion is better than the Avengers in terms of the complexity of the team.
To an extent, yep.
Because as far as the Justice League is concerned, I just feel that they have a lot more crazy villains.
If it's portrayed properly, because Doomsday is a cool villain.
Yeah, of course. Lex Luthor.
But again, both characters that got introduced.
But it's just that the DC universe is so vast, so large. The Justice League is massive.
But you can say the same thing about Avengers too.
The Avengers is nowhere near as big of a team.
But it's just based on your comic book knowledge as well, is for them to do a good Justice League movie, should they stay with like the core 6 or 7, or should they do like a B-list team?
They have to get people to come. They need to have
at
the
least
core.
Some of them. They need to have Batman. Basically.
They need to have Batman. They need a Superman of some sort.
Yeah, and then they'll only
need a Wonder Woman,
and then rotate the other 3 out. Like
Flash seems like a pretty important character. Green Lantern, I feel like they do need to bring
again.
No, they need to bring Green Lantern in. They need to pick one of them and just bring him in. He's a necessary character.
He is. He's literally their space travel based character to do stuff outside of Earth, other than Superman, obviously.
Yeah,
but
he's literally a galactic police officer.
Literally, though. And like it had potential. I don't know, as bad as the movie was for the Green Lantern film.
Oh no, the Green Lantern film's bad, but I just mean they need to have a Green Lantern in the Justice League.
Like we had a 2-second Easter egg with Green Lantern, I think, in the director's cut of Justice League.
They could do B tier movies and have
like Swamp
Easter
Thing
eggs
or
of
Animal Man.
of Batman or someone from the Justice League show up to either recruit them or maybe even just a sound clip of Batman telling them to go. Like they're already part of the Justice League. You don't have to see them joining, because for the most part, in terms of Justice League compared to the Avengers, it's very like, okay, we're the Justice League, and basically they just become a police station for the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they start sending, there's always someone up in the Justice League headquarters, up in space, and like their massive satellite weird building, and they're like,
Watchtower.
Yeah, that's it. That's Watchtower. And they always send someone.
Yeah.
They're like, there's an emergency at X. We're gonna send X team. So why not? A cool thing would be sending, like Swamp Thing, Beast Boy, or something.
Just B-list
and have
characters.
Batman's voice and be like,
Exactly.
"Hey guys, there's a X thing here going on here. Can you check it out?" And that's the beginning.
I think the thing that bugs me too is that DC, for the most part, had a successful franchise, but it was the TV shows.
Yeah, and then they didn't do anything with it. They didn't want anything to do with the shows and the movies.
That's why I was super surprised. Ezra Miller had a cameo on The Flash in season 8, I think, when they were doing the huge multiverse-esque story.
Well, that's why everyone thinks Grant Gustin is going to be in potentially
Fingers
the Flashpoint.
Fingers crossed. Does great as the Flash. Super excited. But no, the fact that they had that and then they've ended it and they didn't want to do any more of it is just unfortunate.
Well, now we have so many Batman too. It's like, who the hell's the Batman?
Literally, the Flashpoint Batman, I think, has 3 freaking Batmans in it. And I'm waiting for George Clooney to show up while we're at it too. Like,
may as well. Why not?
Like the fact that Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton are both in it, confirmed. I'm waiting. Just George Clooney it. Just
have everyone.
Except for Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer's doing pretty bad. And Kevin Conroy's already passed away. But
rest in peace.
Rest in peace, that legendary man. I don't know. It's frustrating because I want to go to the theater and just...
You want to enjoy a DC film.
Yeah. Like the Blue Beetle one, I really hope there's not too many Easter eggs that connects it, but at the same time... Oh, you know what? We totally forgot 3 movies that are connected to the DCEU. Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, and then the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn one.
But none of them interest me at all.
The Suicide Squad, I read the novelization of it.
Why would you care? Okay, from let's say you're starting up the DC universe. Mm-hmm. Why on earth are you going to care about the Suicide Squad as a startup?
Couldn't tell you.
We haven't seen any of these villains for any of these characters.
Yeah, why do we care about Killer Croc, Captain Boomerang?
Oh, you're the Harley Quinn of what Batman? Who's the Batman that you're who?
That's the confusing thing because they're rebooting the universe anymore.
Oh, you're Killer Croc. Okay, for what Batman?
For which character?
Like, another Batman villain. Okay, who's Batman? You know what I'm? Oh, another Batman villain.
Yeah, it's messed up. But then you look at
because it's not the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of what James Gunn is trying to push. Like, this is quirky team.
Yeah, but
it's a team of villains. Who are the heroes that put the villains in prison?
Yeah,
for Amanda Waller to
I think abuse. I watched part of the Suicide Squad, the one that James Gunn did, like the bigger one, with freaking 20 different villains, by the way. And it's there's a lot in that throughout that entire film. But you get Idris Elba's character, can't remember Bloodsport or something, but apparently he gets put into prison because he fought Superman at one point. And I'm like, okay, then why didn't we show a clip of that or something?
Because they don't have Superman.
I know. That's the issue.
Who's the Superman? Show me.
I don't know who Superman is.
Show me the Superman that put you here.
But the confusing thing is that Margot Robbie, is that what her name is?
Yeah.
Who plays Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, and the Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey one, that was supposed to be the Ben Affleck
Harley Quinn.
Batman Harley Quinn.
Because he shows up in that one Suicide Squad.
For a scene, if that. And then it just gets confusing again because you're like, well, is this new Suicide Squad that James Gunn just did canon towards that? Or is she just playing Harley Quinn in the multiverse now? It's just too convoluted.
That's why Suicide Squad's not a good
starting
first few movies to start with.
You might as well just freaking do a freaking Legion of Doom movie to start. You know what I mean?
I like the idea of the Flashpoint being kind of,
if it's done well.
which is why I'm excited because I like the Flash. I think
Yeah,
the
it's a
Flash is a
great
cool
story.
character, and the Flashpoint is obviously an iconic story at this point.
Yeah.
And it's such a easy. Oh, we're restarting.
Yeah. Whoop, Daisy. He's gonna run back.
Forget
in time
everything that just happened
over the last 10
We're starting
15
over.
years. Except for the Joker movie and the Batman movie. Those are still in their own little universe.
which is fine.
Which
But
is great, but
I
like-
just mean that is a good jumping on point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're watching the Flash. Okay, everything from now
Onward
is canon.
is canon.
This is what's going on in the DCU.
Yeah.
I like
if it
that.
doesn't flop.
I like.
I think it has potential.
I like the idea of that.
That's exactly they're new 52ing it.
They better Court of Owls. Bring it in.
I freaking wish. I think they brought Court of Owls into the Gotham show for a little bit.
Make Nightwing a character.
Live action Nightwing all the way.
What do people have against Robin
Well,
and
outside
Nightwing?
I'd say in the movies, he's tight, obviously.
Just
but,
don't
like,
need suit nipples, and then it'll be fine.
True. That's what I mean. Is like you can still have the Batman characters, just don't make it about Batman.
Yeah, don't make Batman's important, but he doesn't have to be the end all
No,
be all.
exactly.
People love Batgirl. People love Nightwing.
I would love if they did like a Young Justice or a Teen Titans movie.
Yeah, that would
over
be
a
cool.
Justice League.
Having the transition. I mean, obviously we have Titans the show, but it'd be
Yeah.
cool to see maybe the first movie we see is an older Dick as Robin being done with Robin kind of.
Exactly.
And just being like, I want to separate myself from
You can
Batman.
have Batman at the beginning of that movie, and then it's basically him being like, "No, I fucking
Have an
quit."
argument. Have an argument.
Exactly.
Be like, I'm going to the Titan Tower and I'm going to be doing my own thing.
Exactly. And boom, you've already established there.
Yeah.
Like,
And then just have him show up as Nightwing. Like, you literally have him with the Robin costume and leaving it there with Bruce or something.
Exactly.
And then him going off to become Nightwing.
The thing is that you can do a superhero
And then you
movie-
can bring in other Robins.
Exactly.
Because we've only ever had Dick. Not that we've had many Robins in terms of live
Only
action.
had him in live action for the movies. They hinted at another one for the Suicide
Yeah,
Squad or
but-
during Dawn of Justice or something.
But it'd be cool because then you could do a story with Jason.
Exactly.
You can do a whole Batman movie with Jason. You can do literally the Red Hood story, which has Nightwing and Batman in it.
Exactly.
Right? They're the ones who are like, who is this? We need to hunt him down.
Like I would love to do like Under the Red Hood or like post Death of Family, so I guess Under the Red Hood. But just have it narrated by Nightwing. Like his responsibility, like he feels obligated for it kind of thing.
And the other cool thing about the potential for DC is that unlike Marvel, where Tony Stark ended up becoming the poster boy for
Yeah.
the MCU, is there isn't really anyone to take over for him after he passes away.
No.
People say Peter Parker, but not really. Especially since, in my opinion, they went the proper route of basically nuking
Yeah.
Peter Parker's past to have him
Have a
start
soft
over
reboot. Yeah.
as Peter Parker. He is his own character now. He isn't reliant on Tony Stark tech
And everything. Yeah.
it's his own
His
all his
homemade
own-
costume,
yeah.
right back to the bitter end.
So I like that.
I just
But
don't
in
know. There's not
DC
really a poster child for.
In DC, if Batman leaves for a bit, you can have Nightwing take over as Batman. Literally, there's
Yeah.
stories of it happening. Have him fight the other Bat family members to be the cowl.
That's the thing is, it just feels like DC is trying to like
They play everything so safe.
they do, but then they're stupid about it.
Yeah, the
Because they're
risks
like,
they
all right,
take are
we'll
just
throw
like,
like
why?
6 movies out, and they're all going to be kind of connected, but not entirely at the same time.
They're not committed.
No, that's definitely what it is.
Yeah, I would love to see Nightwing in an actual movie. He is one of my favorite characters. I really enjoy his similarities to Bruce, but the way he handles it ends up being different.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
No, there's a
and-
lot of different things they could do.
Green Lantern, there's so many Green Lanterns too. Okay, you don't want to do basic bitch Green Lantern. Okay, well then do Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner would be phenomenal too.
There's so many.
Like, could you imagine if?
But they could even hint at Hal Jordan and just have him not be on World.
Not even that. Just do like a you could do a
'Cause
buddy cop
Why-
style film.
You could have Batman, right?
Mhm.
You can have Batman and a Green Lantern showing up, hinted at a Green Lantern showing up, and he can be all annoyed because he's like, oh, Hal Jordan,
Yeah,
not Hal. And then it's not Hal.
exactly.
And be like,
a different Green
Who
Lantern.
are you? He's like, oh,
Yeah, Hal Jordan is off Earth. I am Jon
Yeah,
Stewart. La da da da.
exactly.
You're like, oh, cool. You're
All
like,
right, now
this
we
is
have
good.
Green Lantern.
Now, exactly. Like,
But then we know Hal Jordan exists. So we can bring him in
if
whenever.
need be, whenever. You know what I mean?
Wonder Woman. Honestly, I like Gal Gadot. I thought she
She
was
did great.
fine.
Yeah, no arguments
So,
there. Yeah, I don't know.
The part that becomes confusing is the few people that they did cast well. I do think Henry Cavill was a good casting. I do think Gal Gadot was a good casting.
I enjoyed Ben Affleck too.
But doesn't it get confusing when you bring them back now when you're kind of wanting to change?
Yeah.
Like a reboot?
I think the thing too for me when it came to the DCU is that I loved Ben Affleck as Batman because he played like a slightly older aged version.
He played older. He
but
was
that
obviously a
implies
lot
that
edgier.
Batman.
Yeah, he's old. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
The
give
other
me
thing
freaking Terry McGinnis. Frick
Well, why
everything.
not just have
Batman Beyond it.
Robert Pattinson's Batman just be the canon Batman? Like, who cares? Bring it in. Why not? I also loved the combat from Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah.
The combat felt really real to the
Batman-esque.
comics and
Yeah,
video games.
That's the thing is like those movies are bad, but they have good moments. I mean, the cringy thing is, "Oh, Martha, why'd you say that name?"
Oh,
It's
no,
just
not
bad.
bad. Yeah, that's
And
bad.
then I still can't get over the whole guitar riff bull crap. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Batman, like him fight, the scene where he's fighting in that warehouse, that was so iconic. Batman.
The actor is escaping me, but the actor that played Alfred nailed it, and
Yeah,
I
he
wish
did a
he was
great
in
job
that
too.
film. The name is on the tip of my
He
tongue.
gave me really
but, like,
great Batman Zero. Was it Batman
Yeah, Zero Year. Yeah, like the first year, like New 52. Is that what you're referring to?
No,
Or, like,
Batman
the-
Year One. Was it Year One? The one that Jeff Johns wrote. It's like an alternate universe where Alfred is the person who taught Bruce how to fight.
Oh yes. I know what you're talking about.
Is it Batman
Year
One.
One.
Or Year One?
Year one. Yeah.
But that's the vibe I got from that
And
Alfred.
it fit.
And he was
great.
a
He was a
badass motherfucker.
Exactly.
He was a badass.
Exactly. I don't know. It just bugs me because they have a lot of content, and it seems like they're trying to reboot and make the Justice League again. Reboot, make the Justice League again. Do what Marvel did. Just have your one-off stories, and then a big catastrophe.
And the thing is, we
brings
know
them
origins.
together.
We don't need origins. We don't need to see the whole ship from Krypton. We don't need to see Bruce's
Batman's
parents dying.
get killed again.
We all know how they became
Exactly.
heroes. Okay, so just
We
jump
need-
right in.
We need origins for
Jump
characters that
into-
don't need.
to the 0 Year with Riddler
Mm-hmm.
and Batman just fighting. You know what I mean? Why not?
They kind of did that with the Batman movie, but
Well, you
should-
know what I mean.
yeah, I know what you mean though. No, they have a lot of potential.
Just jump into him, like the way is it the Dark Knight? No, the Dark Knight Rises. No, it was the Dark Knight where you just jump into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene. There's a bad thing happening.
hockey pants.
Well, there was a bad thing happening.
Yeah.
Right off the rip.
Yeah, you just toss right into the action.
Just pretend that we already know what happened, how he's
Exactly.
Batman. Just let's jump into a villain doing villainous things. And it can be a classic villain that just escaped Arkham. Who cares? It doesn't have to be someone big. Just have him
That's
do
another
it.
thing too. Is Batman has such a large rogue gallery.
Yeah,
we
it
don't
could-
need the Joker for the 8th time.
It could be, you could pick anyone. It could be a B-list character or a random character. Let's just say Scarecrow escaped Arkham. And all it is him grabbing Scarecrow, giving him to Commissioner Gordon. And now that's the way we meet Batman. We meet Commissioner Gordon. Okay, there's two characters.
Another
Right
thing too. J.K. Simmons' Commissioner Gordon was great too.
Yeah. But right off the rip, boom. Both those characters are introduced. We now know, okay, he's already been Batman for a while because obviously this is a villain that he's fought who's escaped Arkham. Classic Batman thing. He's going back to Arkham. But those are two iconic characters in DC now we got introduced to.
Exactly.
It would be even better if it was a character that maybe is in a Suicide Squad because then that can be linked to Amanda Waller. Maybe we bring Amanda Waller in who's like, I'm taking this person for my project.
But you got to do it. You can't throw too many characters, right? Because that was also the downfall of Batman vs Superman. But
of
if
course,
you do it
but these are-
strategically,
But these aren't heroes, right?
Yeah.
If you have Batman being introduced in a Batman film,
Mm-hmm.
that's acceptable. Commissioner Gordon being introduced in a Batman film, acceptable.
Yeah.
Having an Easter egg of Amanda Waller showing up.
I think
to
an
take
Easter
someone,
egg would be okay. Even be like, all right, just put her in cell block B, and then he'll talk to Amanda Waller, and then just cut it at that. Like
something
mention
like that.
the name, you
and
know?
then from there you can do whatever you want, whatever film you want.
Bring in like Poison Ivy or something.
But it just
Poison Ivy
it just
movie
connects.
would be great.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, a proper.
Bring
Yikes.
bring back Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, but like no, like even like if you look at New 52 when they did the Villains Month, there was 16 Batman issues for that.
There's tons and tons of villains that you could do. Obviously, not all of them are going to be as iconic as
No, like
That's
Clayface is
understandable.
not going to be iconic in comparison to a lot of others.
The Riddler, the Joker.
The Joker, obviously the
Bane.
big two: Bane, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze,
Like there's definitely
Court of
some
Owls.
interesting. I think the Court of Owls
Yeah.
would be great
Black Mask,
because Court of Owls is also very real,
lore heavy.
but it feels
and
so real because
It
that
could
it's
easily be a thing.
in real life.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Illuminati in a way of like,
no, it's literally the Illuminati of Gotham.
it's
Like
just creepy. And that links to Dick.
Nightwing. Yep.
Heavy link to Dick Grayson.
I think that would be perfect. And then you could also introduce Talon as a B-list villain. And then Talon...
For a Nightwing movie.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Talon gets away. And then next, opening scene of the second
He's in
movie
Bloodhaven.
or whatever. He's in Bloodhaven. And at the end of that Batman movie, for example, Dick goes, all right, I'm leaving. Here's the Robin costume. I'm taking care of the Talon. Then boom, he leaves. And then boom, there's your spin-off Nightwing show, movie, whatever.
Or another thing they could do is have Bruce leave Dick a message. Dick's already in Bloodhaven, and he looks at the message and says something like, I know you don't want to talk to me, but there's a dangerous person after you. And he's just like, whatever, Bruce.
Exactly. As long as we don't get Grayson, we're fine. Fucking...
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. Grayson had its moments. Some moments were cool, but I feel like Grayson lasted too long.
I think it was like, 15, 16 issues? It was like, it went on. It should have been like 8 issues and cut it or something.
Especially since at the end of the day, there was a specific reason Grayson
existed.
What Dick was trying to gather for information. So it definitely feels like they could have just done that a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But okay, well, we'll stop gushing about Nightwing. But
yeah.
At the end of the day, I think just saying that there's so many heroes, Green Lanterns, Flash, Wonder Woman. Obviously, like you mentioned, we could have a Teen Titans movie. We could do Justice League Dark, where
Swamp Thing, Animal Man, Zatanna, Constantine. Like they need to do. DC needs to make it
take advantage of the things they have over Marvel, which is the more dark.
Well, that's the thing. They tried that and they made it too dark.
No, their problem was they made characters that aren't dark.
Dark, exactly.
They tried to make Superman the symbol of hope dark.
Flash, too dark. Straight up.
If you want dark, Batman's dark.
Exactly.
Justice
League dark. Swamp Thing, Animal Man, Constantine.
But keep those characters that are fun or the symbol of hope.
More lighthearted.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if they tried to make a Green Lantern movie and made it dark.
I would love to see a Flash Green Lantern movie together.
Oh my god, a buddy cop movie would be phenomenal.
Because they're friends.
Exactly. Barry and Hal are like BFFs. It'd be a great buddy cop movie.
Great. Obviously, casting-wise, you would have to nail it.
You'd have to have two people that would like
their chemistry,
killer chemistry.
Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds level of bromance.
Exactly, but it's got to be like actors that aren't usually in full comedic roles.
Yes.
Like I couldn't because there's like the traditional buddy cop movies with like Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg and all. Like there's two comedic actors, like two comedic. You need people that do serious roles because it would be taken in quotation seriously, but it'd have good comedic.
Make Stephen Amell Hal Jordan. And bring Grant Gustin as a Flash.
That'd be phenomenal. I wish, or even like Robbie Amell.
They bounced well off each other. All like those actors.
The core group of the Flash of the CW shows and Arrow, like they all did really well together. There wasn't really any actors or actresses that didn't hit.
Well,
there was a couple here and there.
Deathstroke, they didn't seem like the cast got along with very well.
But yet they brought him back later.
But
I say like Deathstroke. They hinted at Deathstroke at the end of one of the movies to be like the next villain. Be a great Titans.
It's the only problem is now it's confusing because of the Titans show. That is
what is canon, what is not canon.
Yeah, exactly. And they did cover the whole Dick not wanting to be under Bruce's wing, and it would be repetitive in a sense, but you could do it better because let's face it, the original seasons of Titans wasn't great.
No,
was not great at all. And he didn't go to Bloodhaven.
Yeah, that's a big red flag.
Why? Why not? Why?
It's funny we talk about this and we like. It bugs me because we're talking about all this stuff and DC tried to, and then they played it safe again. Like why was that Batgirl movie not just thrown like out into theaters? And like you see interviews with Brandon Fraser, who the villain was Firefly, a B-list villain with Batgirl, different. Arguably not a B-list character, but B-list in the grand scheme of the Bat family.
Yes.
Like it had potential. It was finished.
Well, it's just because of all the stuff going on with them hiring James Gunn to be,
I don't know,
their Kevin Feige. But it probably is easier. We don't know the complete story, right?
Exactly,
at the end of the day, maybe
James
Gunn knows, and he's just like, there's no way we can make this work.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because that would have been their first movie that they're like,
well, and a Batgirl movie would be awesome.
Batgirl would be phenomenal.
Very popular character.
And you could introduce various characters in that would be subtle, like Cassandra Cain, Stephanie Brown.
Yeah, you can introduce who is part of the Bat family
already. The extended family outside of the Batman and whatever Robin he has at that time.
But even though you could even have hints to those Robins, you could
Well,
have
yeah,
her,
Stephanie Brown shows up with her boyfriend Tim.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can have, if Barbara and Dick are currently in a relationship,
Exactly.
maybe she calls Dick and says, "No, I'm not gonna."
No, I can't help you with your issue.
Yeah.
Boom,
You know, I'm
Easter
busy.
egg there. Guess what? Now,
Or like, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore about you and Bruce's drama. Meaning, him and Bruce aren't currently
exactly.
Like,
but why
right.
not? Go watch this movie
Yeah,
to find
exactly.
out. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, obviously we say this, and it sounds so easy just saying, but then it comes to getting the actors.
The actors, the convolution of
obviously
everything,
the
working the
stories,
script.
working.
And, like, there's a lot.
What's crazy is there's so much complexity of Batman alone. You could make a Batman
Universe.
cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Just Batman.
But I don't understand why they didn't. They could have.
Yeah.
Because you have like Batman, then you have the Robins, and then you have the Batgirls, and then you have
You have all your villains. You have Gordon.
You have Gordon. You
which,
have
to be fair, they never did Gotham the way I thought they were going to do Gotham. It was not the story I was expecting. So they could do a movie just on Gordon and his rise.
Yeah. Because Gotham started off as a buddy cop show, and then it went
Have the story
weird.
of why he became a cop. Him meeting Bruce for the first time, how he moved
gang
up the ranks,
relations
how
to it
he's
and
trying,
stuff. Yeah,
how
yeah.
he's trying to make Gotham a better city. Like he
Is that Alfred show still going on at all?
Oh no,
The Penny. I think it's literally called Pennyworth.
Pennyworth.
Yeah. There's just it bugs me because they try and try again and they keep failing and failing, and then just no
you
other
hate to see it.
franchise is just catching up to them either. Like it still throws me off. Like the new Transformers movie looks good.
The sad
but
part is we're
like,
rooting. We're always rooting for DC to be able to be that competitor to Marvel.
the fact that you can do
Give
a
us
solid,
a reason to want to watch your films.
exactly. Like Blue Beetle looks interesting.
Well, the fact that we were in the theater and they have the pre-show and they're talking about the new Shazam movie, and we're just like,
yeah, it's
like,
whatever.
I don't want to be saying that about a DC film.
Exactly.
I want to be like, yeah, I watched it. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Or, oh man, I can't believe I haven't seen that yet.
Well, that's the thing is like
No part of me cares about Shazam.
I haven't seen the Aquaman movie. Haven't seen the second Wonder Woman movie.
Haven't
seen the Birds of. I only want to watch Birds of Prey because Ian McGregor plays Black Mask. That's the only reason why I want to see that movie.
Black Mask is a cool character.
But does it work for a random Birds of Prey movie?
I don't know, but at least it's like you said, a B-list character.
Yeah, they're
another
trying.
Batman villain.
But why is it in a Harley Quinn? That's the thing. It's a Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah, why is Harley Quinn a bird of prey?
Exactly. I don't even. The Birds of Prey I think was like Huntress.
Oracle.
Was it?
I want to say it was either. I want to say she was in it. The girl that has like the supersonic voice. I can't remember her.
Yeah,
Canary.
yeah. Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Let's see who the cast is.
But I don't know who's in this movie. But I just mean like the real Birds of Prey, right? That's
the core three.
yeah.
Yeah, like apparently you have. What the heck? So obviously you have Harley Quinn and Black Mask, and then you have Huntress, Black Canary, and then Cassandra Cain.
Okay,
and
so
you have
Cassandra
Renee
Cain's-
Montoya.
Cassandra Cain's being the Batgirl quotations of the film.
Yeah, and then Victor Zsasz is also in it apparently too.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
I
it
just
just
feel
doesn't.
like going the niche characters isn't a good way to start the reboot.
No, that's why I'm also scared about like.
At the end of the day, it sucks, but you do need to have those big hitters. You give people a reason to care about the universe. Introduce the Batman. Introduce members of the Bat family. Have a more Bat family centric movie, and maybe it implodes from there. You know, like a Death of family,
Exactly.
where you know the Joker shows up. I know we were just talked about how it doesn't have to be the Joker, but the Joker really puts in that comic. He really puts a strain on the family, right? And showing like the selfishness of Bruce.
The thing about Batman is the fact that you can do various stylistic choices for movies. You can make it a more noir movie. You could do a buddy cop movie basically with Batman and Robin.
You can do it to show off his intelligence instead, more of his detective skills.
Exactly. You could do more of a murder mystery of Death in the Family or Death of the Family. Like you can do a horror Batman movie.
Yep.
Almost like the fact that they just keep recycling it, being like, "Oh, it's so dark and noir," but I'm like, you could do so much more.
He's a very crazy. And same with Superman too. So he doesn't have to be. They did take a chance on Man of Steel being different, but it was too dark for the character.
Yeah, you can have like Superman is cheery, who has dark moments.
Yep.
Like you look at 10 seasons of Smallville. There's some
a lot.
dark moments in that show, which, by the way, apparently Blue Beetle showed up in that. I don't remember that.
Me neither. I could not remember that.
I'm gonna watch that episode.
Green Arrow
tonight.
showed up.
Green Arrow showed up. Aquaman showed up.
I remember them
Flash
showing up,
shows up.
but don't remember Blue Beetle. At
It's
all.
got to be a one-off episode, probably with
Yeah.
Booster Gold, guaranteed. If
Yep.
Booster Gold was in an episode, Blue Beetle was probably in that same
got
episode.
power. He got powers from kryptonite. Isn't that how Smallville works?
Oh
the first
my
few
god!
Seasons?
Literally the first 3 seasons.
Kind of like how the
day.
Flash, everything happened from the accelerator.
Particle accelerator. Yeah.
And then in Smallville, it's all all these stones are giving people weird powers.
Weird. This person is a serial killer. He's old. Just kidding. He's young again. Oh no, he needs more kryptonite in his body.
He needs kryptonite.
The gym teacher has the power to control flames. Oh, it's because he did a sauna bath with kryptonite rocks.
As crazy as this sounds, I'm pretty sure this isn't our first episode ripping on DC.
No, it's not. It's not going to be the last.
But at the end of the day, you're not wrong. Mario probably will have more.
Yeah, 100%. Mario.
It's probably going to be a Donkey Kong movie.
movie.
Wouldn't surprise me if we have a Yoshi, like a buddy thing with Mario Yoshi.
Yeah, Wario, Waluigi,
Yeah.
Wario,
Yeah,
Princess Daisy. Like,
There's a lot of Nintendo
I am
IP
more-
in just the Mario universe.
I'm more hopeful for animation franchises. Like Despicable Me and Minions are great. You look at Puss in Boots, the more recent one. People loved that movie.
Yeah, they're supposed
That's
to be potentially
the Shrek.
making a new Shrek movie.
They are. No, 100% it's in development. Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy ain't doing anything right now. They are free. Okay. Cameron Diaz might be the only one that might not come back.
But there's that. I think a Zelda movie would be awesome
I could see that happening
because
too.
it wouldn't not be as lighthearted as Mario.
No.
It would be a little bit more serious tone. Obviously, a lot more in like real fighting, which could be cool. But it opens up once again, like you said. Does there have to be a universe though?
Yeah, if there's never a Mario movie after this for like 5-10 years. Even they did it, tried to do with Harry Potter, like the Fantastic Beasts, and that flopped.
But at the end of the day, this movie
Was
didn't
solid.
really hint at a greater universe. It definitely was. It could just end off as a one-off, and it was enjoyable.
That's what I mean. The way they ended it was open-ended, where it could be, but
they
couldn't
weren't
be.
forcing it.
Exactly, and that I'm more okay with that.
Yeah, I think it was well done. But we'll see. Obviously, we have Transformers, like you said.
Yeah.
There was the Power Rangers, but
The torrential one that fell off.
they tried.
And then now they're rebooting it again. But that was also licensing issues for the Power
True,
Ranger ones,
but it wasn't like it was good.
no, it had good moments, but again, it was pretty bad.
So let us know. What do you guys think? Does everything need to be a franchise? Do you want
More
every
every movie like that you watch?
even superhero films? Do you
Yeah.
Do you want to just watch maybe like a Robert Pattinson, just the Batman? It's just its own thing. You don't need it to
You
be
don't need to be
related to
connected
everything.
to everything.
Or are you like us and you're secretly rooting for DC to pop
Secretly
off?
rooting for DC, 100%. You got to be. But I think with other
and tell us some of your
franchises
favorite
like
franchises. Do you love Fast and Furious? I know some people love it. Do you like the Transformers?
Pirates of the Caribbean, if that's ever going to get a new one too.
Let us know down in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not and you're listening to us on one of your favorite podcast listening applications,
Join the Discord.
join the Discord and let us know.
Chat us about it. I'm very curious what other people's opinions are when it comes to franchises, because some are well done, some are not done, some are dragged out way too long.
And some are just compared to Marvel, which you're going to lose.
That's just that. That is the plain fact. Like,
You're going to lose.
that's why you just have to make your franchise unique and just stick to
do-
your source
stick-
material.
Stick
and
to
just,
your characters and your...
Exactly. Don't overdo it.
Don't try and recreate what Marvel created. Create something of your own.
Exactly.
But yeah, this has been Matt and Connor. Nerdy Misfit
Back at it again.
Podcast.
Episode 50? Is this the big 50?
This is the 5-0, I'm pretty sure.
I think so as well. Because,
Last week would have been 49.
yeah.
So this is
So,
the
if
5-0.
you've made it this far and you've listened to all 50 episodes, I am impressed that
Yeah.
you've heard Connor and myself talk for so long.
Yeah, almost a year straight.
Crazy. In
Over
2
a year's
weeks,
worth of technically
content.
episodes because we've
Yeah.
gotten
6
specials.
specials. But yeah, this is
Speaking of which, I had a Lindt chocolate. It was Easter.
oh my gosh. I did not eat
Flashbacks.
any chocolate yesterday. I couldn't.
I
I
had
looked
one
at it
Lindt.
and I was like,
I had a
can't do it.
Lindt, and then the nostalgic of our episode just like PTSD.
Did you almost throw up or
it
what?
was like, ooh, it felt queasy.
But
But yeah, check us out, guys. And we'll be discussing in the next episode and, of course, our
the
year
big
episode.
1 year episode 52.
We're going to be discussing future plans, looking back at the year as a whole.
Maybe some potential guests. It is.
Who knows?
Stay tuned for episode 52 because we don't know, but we do.
We are planning.
We are planning. But until then, thank you guys so much for listening to the Nerdy Misfit podcast yet
We'll
again.
see you next week.
Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you, and see you next week.